Hello everybody, welcome to video Q&A with Kunal, 4th edition. Now, first of all, a very happy new year to you, and I hope you guys have a fantastic year ahead and achieve all your fitness goals and keep up with your diet and stay healthy. So let's get to the questions that you've asked. Like I said, I'm going to be covering one or maybe two questions in detail, and because I don't think I'll have enough time to answer all these questions, although I have got very interesting questions. So the first question that I'm going to answer is by Kunal Gir, abs exercises, tips and tricks. Well, this is one common question that most of the people ask me, so I'm going to address this first. Any kind of ab routine has two components to it. One is the training aspect and the other is the diet aspect. Now the most important thing is the diet. It's not really the training. When you have a diet which is low on carbohydrates and low on processed sugars, you will be able to see your abs much more clearly, because your body will start getting rid of the fat over it. Our muscles are usually very hard and defined to begin with. The reason why we don't see them that way is because there's a lot of fat in water that covers it, and in men most of the fat is stored on their abdominal regions. So that's the reason why most of the men are unable to see their abs. Whereas women don't have that problem. Women store most of the fat on their hips, so they can see their abs in spite of being fat, because their fat is stored on their hips and legs mostly, and it's not stored on their abdominal region. So the most important thing to achieve is a good diet if you want to see your abs. The training aspect is not as important because most of us get a lot of abdominal work indirectly when we are squatting, when we are deadlifting, when we are doing overhead shoulder presses. Your muscles stabilize, your abdominal muscles stabilize your torso, so that you can finish all these movements with good balance. But in spite of that, you can do abdominal exercises. You should do abdominal exercises, but not to the extent of doing 1000 repetitions, 2000 repetitions, and all these crazy ab routines that you hear about. They are not going to help you burn the fat off. They're only going to help you build the muscle inside. And most of us don't want to build world-class abdominal muscles which are really, really big. And all we want is like the washboard look, a decent six-packs which is visible. We don't want our abs to be too big. So training them very hard and very regularly is not required. Training them once a week or maybe twice a week with two exercises, about 20 to 15 to 20 repetitions each set, and about 3 sets per exercise. That is all I recommend. That's all that my clients do. That's all that is required to build a decent set of abs. What's critical is that you stay on a good diet, so that you're able to see the abs that you already have. To give you an example, you see these laborers who work at sites, construction sites, and you see that they are pretty defined, and you can see their abdominal wall. For that matter, you can also see young kids, like 2-3-year-old kids running around with a good set of abs. You can see their abdominal wall. So it's not because they're doing like raises or crunches or any kind of ab exercises. It's because they don't have any kind of stored body fat. They're lean, they're fat free almost, and that's why you can see their abs. So training them is not as important as dieting for them is. So you need to do a good diet with less carbohydrates and less sugars, and you need to do cardio to increase your caloric expenditure, your fat burning rate. So I would suggest doing half an hour of cardio either after you work out or first thing in the morning. That should be a good start to increase your fat burning. And I would also recommend cutting down carbs as much as possible, carbohydrates and sugars. The more you cut them out, the sooner your results are going to be. Uh, a lot of time a lot of people have a tough time giving up carbohydrates, and that's mainly the reason why they can't really see their abs as clearly. So carbohydrates or sugars are forms of energy which your body will be able to utilize to a certain extent, and if you overfeed it, then all of it gets stored as body fat. So in a constant environment of carbohydrates and sugars, your body will never find the need to burn stored body fat. So cut down your carbs, cut down your sugars, start doing cardio, and train your abs twice a week lightly. You don't have to go crazy and do all those 1,000 rep sets and different angles and cables. You don't need all that. And especially don't do those side bends with dumbbells. Those are ridiculous. I see a lot of people at the gym, using heavy dumbbells, and using them to do your side bends. I'm sure all of them are not trying to build their intercostal muscles. They're only trying to, get the fat off. But that's exactly what they're doing. They are building their muscles off. They're not really burning their fat off. Any kind of weight training, any kind of resistance training can only increase your muscle size. It can't really, shrink the fat covering it. Fat does not respond to localized exercises. So if you have fat on your chest, training your chest is not going to burn that fat. Similarly, if fat on your sides, on your love handles, it's not going to burn just because you're doing side bends. Doing side bends is going to build the muscle that is there beneath it. And in good time, it will actually start growing and you will start getting a thicker waist. So don't do these side bends. They are not going to shrink your waistline. You can, if you really want to tone that area, I would suggest just use a stick and do some side bends with the stick, maybe 30-40 repetitions twice a week. That's about it. Don't use dumbbells, don't suspend yourself off benches and do side bends. All that is really useless. It's not going to give you a tighter midsection. It is only going to make your waist look thicker. So stick with leg raises and crunches and sit-ups. That's about it. You don't really need to do more than that. And with all the other exercises that you're doing, your abs will be getting enough amount of work anyway. So that's my take on abs and how you get good abs. I hope that helps. I think we have time for one more question. So, okay. I like this question by Ray Burbank. How to keep a positive nitrogen balance all day and all night? That is staying anabolic. Also, do you recommend taking BCAAs when on a calorie deficit for staying anabolic? Okay, so 2 questions. Staying anabolic throughout the day, how do you do that? Firstly, the 2 most catabolic times of the day are first thing in the morning when you wake up and after your weight training or cardio. So these are the times that you really need to stop your catabolism. So how do you do that? You do that by adding some form of simple carbohydrates along with a protein shake. Why a protein shake is because liquid protein is faster, it gets into your blood sooner. So consider first thing in the morning when you have fasted for the entire night. The first thing when you wake up in the morning, your body needs protein as soon as possible. If not, it will start burning its own muscle to get the protein that it wants. So a high quality whey protein isolate like zero will enter your blood very quickly and will halt all sorts of catabolism. The reason why you combine simple carbs along with that is because simple carbs will shoot up insulin very quickly, and insulin is the most anabolic hormone that your body has. So in the presence of insulin, your cortisol levels go down and your body will stop burning muscle. So it's a two-tier process of halting catabolism and increasing protein synthesis. So you do the same thing after you finish your workout. So you do another shake, whey protein isolate plus some simple carbs. So you can do this during your workout or after your workout. Both times are good. And at other times during the day, I recommend eating high quality protein food, especially non-vegetarian sources, because they have a more complete amino acid profile, and combine that with some kind of essential fats like extra virgin olive oil or dry fruits or peanut butter or olive oil, macadamia nut oil, or any kind of nut butter for you, like almond butter, cashew butter. That should also do. So when you feed your body every 3 hours, your body is going to get a constant supply of amino acids and essential fats. So it will not really get catabolic at any time during the day, and you're getting enough amount of amino acids to trigger protein synthesis and stay anabolic. Including BCAAs during a calorie deficit state depends, because BCAAs are good, really good. The reason why is because they have a amino acid called leucine, which triggers protein synthesis. So without leucine, your body cannot utilize the protein that you're consuming. That's why a lot of vegetarian protein sources are not as effective, because they lack the leucine content. So any protein source with a high leucine content will trigger protein synthesis to a good degree. So if you're using something like Zero, which is a high quality whey protein isolate, it gives you a very good amount of leucine. So that is more than enough for you to trigger the protein synthesis that is required. Plus, if you're eating a lot of non-vegetarian food sources, again you're going to get a good amount of leucine, which will do the same job. So supplementing additionally with BCAAs in that scenario is not a compulsion. Although if you can afford it, there is no harm. I would say you can take it in between meals to sustain the protein synthesis. Studies have shown that protein synthesis shoots up 1 hour after a meal and starts declining after 2 hours. So if you start taking BCAAs in between 2 meals, you can sustain the protein synthesis for a longer duration throughout the day. So eat smaller meals every 3 hours, and make sure you have simple carbs first thing in the morning and post workout. And BCAAs can be used if you're not using a whey protein isolate, or if you're a vegetarian, or if your protein sources are not complete, as in if they don't have leucine in them, then yes, you can add BCAAs and that will help. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys have learned something from this. If you have any more questions, I see that you have more questions, but I hope to answer them next time. Until then, have a good time.